Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. For the next hour, you'll hear proven methods for how to live the multiple income streams dream. Ryan is passionate about helping others discover their gifts and start their own business. He's published 5 books, and his courses and group coaching programs have changed the lives of thousands of students all over the world. Ryan's books include Private Label, The Easy Way, Finding Your Grace Place, and his latest, Streams of Income. And now, here's your host, Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. Today I'm flying solo again. I love having guests on. It's fun interviewing success stories, sharing with you how people have built their businesses. And last couple of episodes, we've talked about outsourcing, which is super key to my business. You see me out front, but behind me is a big team of people that help put everything together. I have a person that does my podcast editing, video editing, help me with social media, helps me in our Legends group. We have a large team there of moderators and just a core group of people that help pull it off. You just cannot do this alone. And I'm grateful for my team. And as you're building your business, let me know how I can help you. Definitely have a desire to hook up more people with virtual assistants and provide jobs for those folks. It's just a neat win-win that we've been able to create. But today we're talking about the second way that I would say to make money online. So in my book, Streams of Income, we talk about 3 main ways, but if I had to boil it down, there's really 2 main ones. And that's number 1, selling physical products, which we talk a lot about, and there's lots of content regarding that way to make money online. But the second one being building a business from something you're interested in, a skill that you have, a passion that you have, some knowledge that you have, an experience that you have. And that can look like books, courses, mastermind groups, live events. It could be a coaching program. And so that's what I want to focus on today. Now, I know many of you have a desire to get into a business to where you are helping people and earning income at the same time. And believe me, it's so fun to have success stories from folks that write me and say, because of what you do, been able to quit my job, and I've been able to give to this ministry that I care about. That really fires me up. And that's one of the most exciting things about what I do, is seeing how the content that I have and others have in our community have been able to bless these people and help them expand their businesses and live the life of their dreams. So I want that for you. And I know some of you have a desire, you have a message on your heart that you know has been placed there. My friend Terry Savelle-Foy says, and this is what the Lord told her, if it's in your heart, it's there for a reason. If it's in your heart, it's there for a reason. And something else I've also heard her say too is that somebody is waiting on the other side of your obedience. Somebody is waiting on the other side of your obedience. So if you have that message, if you have some desire, you felt all along, I need to write a book, I need to create a course, I need to share this thing that's on my heart. Maybe you have overcome something. Maybe you've lost a lot of weight and are able to keep it off. Maybe you are being able to be disciplined and work out regularly. And people ask you how you did it, how you made that change. Maybe how you started your business, how you were able to quit your job, how you're able to grow all these awesome plants in your garden. How do you bake these amazing cookies? Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be some life-changing thing that, it just affects somebody's life eternally. It literally could be as simple as you know how to use an Instapot really well and make good recipes, and it saves you time. How many other people would love the opportunity to learn how to do what you do that saves you so much time every single week? How do maybe you're disciplined in your, setting your schedule, and you have a planner and you have a whole system. People would love to learn that type of stuff. And you have skill set, you have a skill set, you have talents, you have abilities that people need. And if people are asking you for this, it's one of the clues that you can get is when you get all these people asking you how you did this, how you did that. When you hear the same question 3 times, that's a clue that you're the expert in that. You don't have to be the world's foremost expert in this topic. You just have to know more than enough people that will pay you money to learn how to do what you've done and learn your methods, learn your strategies. And that can be through books, courses, could be online communities, mastermind groups, live events, done for you type services. There's just so much opportunity out there, and you have something that the world will pay you for. So in episode 42, I talk about what in the world would people pay me for? Because for the longest time, I got started in this business by following a guy named Jim Cockrum. You all know him. He wrote a book called Silent Sales Machine. And in Silent Sales Machine, he talks about the 3 ways to make money online, kind of like I do in Streams of Income. But Streams of Income talks about my story and how I've used those to build multiple streams of income. But I looked at the model he talks about where he calls it the expand your niche, taking something that you're good at, you've learned some knowledge you've learned, and turning that into income. I thought that sounds really neat to be able to help people and make money at the same time. But I had no idea what that could be for me. And for the longest time, I kind of struggled with that and wondered, this sounds awesome, but what in the world would people pay me for? Until one day I was doing some wholesale sourcing online, and I stumbled across a website that had all these sources of wholesale products, all these different companies essentially under one website umbrella. So you could create one login, and it allowed you to have logins, that same login to all these, it was 200 plus companies with thousands and thousands of products. And so I didn't have to pick up the phone and call anybody to place orders. I created this one login on this one site, and that allowed me to place orders with any of these companies. So I thought, wow, this is super valuable. I know that there's other Amazon sellers that would love this information. So I messaged him. By that time, I had built a relationship with him. And so I messaged him and said, I found this wholesale source or this website with wholesale sources on it. I think I want to write a book about it and share this, in just a booklet almost. It wasn't anything big. I think it was 70 or 80 pages, but most of the content was just the sources and links to them. At the beginning of the book, I had a few pages on how I would use these, how I would search for these, how I would use this information, what I look for when I'm looking for wholesale opportunities. So part of it was that, but the large majority of the book was literally just these sources and links to them. He agreed to promote that book with me. We split it 50-50. We sold thousands of copies of this $7 ebook. It was just an ebook, guys. And that put me on the map as far as, some of information. That got me started. That got my email list started. And that put me down the road of helping people sell physical products online. That has led to the Private Label the Easy Way book that I have, the Private Label the Easy Way mentoring community that I have. It's led to the Amazon Legends group that I have with 400 plus people in there. And it's led to multiple other opportunities and partnerships and resources and products, all coming out of that one. I had to get started somewhere, and I didn't see the opportunity until that time. And I guarantee there's something that you have, and you may already know what it is, and that may be something deep down in your heart that you've kind of just pushed down because you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to get that message out to the world because it can seem scary. It can seem daunting. How do you build a website? What do you post on social media? How do I become known for this thing? And well, that's what I want to help you out with today. This is actually going to be a 2-part series, and this probably could be a lot longer. In fact, Jenny Hunt and I just went through a breakthrough challenge covering a lot of this stuff, and we went deep on it. And I'll have a link in the show notes where you can get those recordings. But I want to just kind of give you some very practical tips for starting down this road of earning an income from something that you're passionate about, something that you're interested in. Maybe it's a topic you've known for years that you need to do something with this. Well, I'm going to give you practical tips and steps and things that you can do over this episode and the following episode. So it'll come out next Friday, of how to start getting your message out to the world, because somebody is waiting on the other side of your obedience. If you can help just one person overcome or save time or save money or go do whatever you have done. That's going to be worth it. But I guarantee you, there are multiple people, hundreds of people out there, thousands even, that will pay you for what you know. And the cool thing about this is you don't need thousands and thousands and thousands of fans. You don't need 1 million people following you on Instagram. I have 2,369. I don't have a big social media following, yet I have a very nice sized business. And it's not because of social media. That helps. And I definitely think you need to be on social media. And we're going to talk about social media strategies today, but you don't have to have a large audience to earn a very nice income from information. So let's dig into that. First, I want to share with you a couple resources that will be in the show notes. This is going to be episode 91. If you go to streamsofincomeradio.com, it'll be that episode at the very top. In the show notes, I'm going to share the flow chart that I'm going to go through. This is kind of like our blueprint for what's possible with information. And then most importantly, the pathway for success. And these are 2 downloads you can have for free. This will just help you figure out where you are in this process and what you need to do to move forward. So let's real quickly, the flow chart. I want to share this real quick. You can print this out and look at it, but it just kind of goes through it's almost like just a funnel, essentially, of getting people in at the top with a lead magnet, something that grabs their attention. This could be a simple PDF, a 1-page download. It could be an ebook. It could be a podcast. If you're just starting out with this, think about something like, the 5 tips to do this. Or if you were in the health niche, it might be, the 5 foods to never eat. Something simple like that somebody would want to give their email in exchange for. That's what we call a lead magnet. And we're going to talk about that. And so once you have that person in your list, they've been introduced to you through this lead magnet, then you can continue to offer them valuable information. And then you want to eventually get down to where they're paying you for maybe a course, maybe a book. And so actually after these 2 episodes that I'm going to do here, if you follow these steps, you will have a plan in place for your first paid offer. You will know what that first paid offer could be, and have a plan in place to move towards that. So your first paid offer could be a course. It could be like a workbook. It could be a book. It could be any number of things that gets them started on that path and gets you down that value ladder. And then we have like the social community piece that eventually you can add to this. And that's been super valuable for my business, having that audience of people that I can learn from, that I can teach them more information, that additional content. So think of like a course with a mentoring community, a Facebook type community, maybe could be on Mighty Networks where you're adding continual value to them. A webinar here and there, like in our Legends group, we have 2 to 5 webinars a month in there of additional content and additional training. But the value of that community for me is that I can see the needs and then be able to provide them extra content based on the needs that they have. So I'm not guessing. I'm not wondering what people need. I can see the questions in there. I can pull them and ask questions. Where are you at in your business? How can I help you move forward? And I provide content to do that. The TP, so this is, it's an acronym called MASTER. And so M is meet a need, A is add value. That's like your course. Social community is S, T is team. That would be like a mastermind, live events, one-on-one coaching. So that's just as you go down the ladder, as your customers go down this value ladder or down this funnel, as if you will, they're getting to know you more. These are higher price point things. These are things that allow you to hold their hand more if they need that. And they also cost more because there's more of your time involved. The E piece is end-to-end services. These are like complete done-for-you services. So an example of this might be if you are really good at building websites and you create a course on how to do a website, well, maybe you have a service where you just do websites for people. It's a done-for-you service because you're going to have some customers, some students that will go through the done-for-you type of model or go through the do-it-yourself model and the do it with you. So like a done do-it-yourself might be like an ebook or something they read, or some information they read and they go off and do it on their own. A done with you might be a course that has a mentoring piece to it, a social community piece. And the done for you option would be where you're actually just doing it for them. And maybe you have a team that actually does that. And then the R is recurring revenue. That's like a membership site or subscription type service that could be attached to your social community piece. So where it's a membership site where there's ongoing content, the interaction is done like in a Facebook community, but then there's a recurring revenue piece to you. So that's MASTER. This is just kind of an overview of what's possible with an information type business. Don't look at this when you download it and be overwhelmed. You're just going to start at one place. And then organically, these other things can come about. You may not ever do all of these. I have done all these in my communities, but it didn't happen overnight. It happened organically as a result of seeing the needs and just providing content that served those needs. So, but I want to dig into the pathway for success. This is what we call our success path. And this goes through how to get started with an information business, taking that knowledge that you have, a skill that you have, an interest that you have, and turning that into income. And so you can download that on the in the show notes. Go to streamsofincomeradio.com. This is episode 91. So if you've been stuck, if you know that you are supposed to go down this road, you want to even just kind of put your toe in the water of being able to earn an income from something that you know, then this episode and the next episode are going to be very, very helpful to you. So the first step, and this is the first step in the pathway for success, find your people. So if you're at this level, you are passionate about your topic, but you're not sure how and where to implement it. You need some direction. And when I say passionate, this may not be your lifelong passion. This could literally just be something that you know, and there's a need for it out there. People would gladly pay you for this information. You may not be super passionate about it, but this is an opportunity for you to serve people in this area. And you don't have to have just one. You could be making money with a lot of different niches. Now, I'm going to suggest that you pick one. The question that we got in our breakthrough challenge that we did recently is I have like 5 different directions I could go. I get questions from people on these 5 things. Well, here's something that you can do to help narrow that down. Number one is you totally eventually could do all of them, but don't start there. So let's help you figure out how to narrow this down. So think about all the different topics that you have. Now, maybe you just have one, but maybe you have 3 or 4 or 5. I would look at the ideas that are going to be the easiest to get started. So as far as the content that you have, the resources you already have access to, maybe you have a Facebook group that is already about that topic. You've already built relationships around that topic. You have the most assets regarding that topic. Kind of maybe rank those topics into the order of resources you already have, therefore meaning how quickly you could get something started with that. How quickly could you write a book about that topic? How quickly could you come up with a lead magnet about that topic? How quickly could you create a course around that topic? Okay. And marry that with the second test is how much of a demand is there for this topic, or how much potential is there to earn an income from that. So think about, and this may be something you're not sure yet, but as you get down this road and do these steps we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes, it'll help you define that more. But which ones have the most assets, resources that you already have in place now, and which one has the most potential as far as income earning potential, and as far as reach, how many people can you be a blessing to in this area? And that would be the one that I would start with. Also, the other thing just to think about too is which one you're going to enjoy the most. Which one's going to be the most fun for you? And again, these are things that will present themselves as you move forward. And just realize you can always pivot. If you decide to pick, fishing, that's your thing, and you get down into this, you start interacting with people around this topic, you may think, you know what, this is not really my thing. I love it, but I don't want to build a business around it. It's fine. You can pivot. That's what's so cool about the internet, is at any time you can make a change. You can, none of this that we talk about over the next couple episodes is going to cost you thousands of dollars. fact, it really doesn't have to cost you anything, just a little bit of time to try to figure this out, try to get your toe in the water of this, start you down this road of earning an income from information that you have. So at any point, you can make a change, you can pivot. And so it's never going to be an opportunity where you're saying, honey, I need to pull out all of our savings and dump it into this new idea. Hopefully it's going to work, because we're not going to be able to eat next week if we don't, if this doesn't work. It's not like that at all. You can do these very small tests, and you can go very slowly, take baby steps, and figure out which path you want to go down. So here's what you are going to do. Hopefully you have at least one idea, one niche that you want to explore earning an income from. First thing I suggest, now there's so many different things you can do, but it just comes down to this one thing. If you can get anything from this episode, here it is. This is the main thing from this episode. Who are my people? So where is my ideal audience? So who are they? Where are they? And then so essentially, who is my ideal audience, and where do they hang out online and offline? So who is my ideal audience? You could say, who is my people? Who's my ideal person that I can be a benefit to, that I can be a blessing to? Who's the ideal person I feel like I can help? And where do they hang out online? You could say and offline too, but we're going to deal, the easiest place to find people right now is online. Who is my audience? Who are my people? And where do they hang out online? Okay. So there's lots of different places to go, but one of the best places to find people is Facebook groups. Now, there are so many Facebook groups. There are thousands of Facebook groups. So what I suggest you doing is, you are probably already a part of some of these groups that you want to get involved in, because it's an area of interest that you already have. So let's say that, fishing was your thing. You are really good at fishing, and you just, I'm not a fisherman, so I'm trying to think of good examples here. You know how to fly fish really well, and people are always asking you to take me with you when you go fly fishing. And so you've seen that there's a need. People see you as an expert, and that you want to explore this idea of earning an income from your fly fishing knowledge. Well, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to go look for fly fishing Facebook groups, and you may already be a part of them because that's an interest that you have. So one quick thing you could do is, if just scroll through the Facebook groups you're already a part of, go to Facebook, go to groups, and look in the groups that you're a part of. Scroll through there. Some of those you may have not been involved in for a very long time. And so what you're going to do is, you want to start getting involved in groups related to your niche. You want to start engaging with people that you feel like are your ideal person. So you want to essentially just find 3 to 5 Facebook groups that are related to your niche. And the way you can go into Facebook, if you just go to facebook.com, and I'm doing this as I'm talking here, you're going to click on groups, and you can look for groups. If you go on the left-hand side, you'll see groups you've joined. And you can go through here and look through if there's any fishing groups in that you've joined, been a part of, that you have not really been involved in a long time. Or you can go to search groups at the top left. And so right now, literally, I'm typing in fly fishing, and I'm looking for fly fishing type groups. And the first one that pops up is called The Fly Fishing Group, public group, 35,000 members. I see another one called Fly Fishing Addicts, 24,000 members. Texas Fly Fishing Anglers Group, 1,700 members. It's a private group. Saltwater Fly Fishing, 4,100 members. Tons of groups around fly fishing. One called Fly Fishing Basics, a private group of 5,400 members. So I would look in these groups. I would look for groups that have at least 1,000 members in it, and that have at least 5 to 10 posts a day. Most of these do. And so, like, for example, this fly fishing group, the saltwater one, has only 2 posts a day, and there's 4,100 members. That's not a very engaged group. I want to find a group that has some engagement. There's posts happening on a regular basis. The very first one at the top says The Fly Fishing Group. It has 35,000 members and 80 posts per day. So I'd look for groups that have at least 1,000 people in it, and that has at least 5 to 10 posts in a day. Most of them are going to be there. And so what you're going to do is literally just join those groups. You may already be a part of some of them, but join those groups, fill out the questions that they might ask you when you get in there. And then when you get in, you're going to start just lurking and learning, as we call it. You're going to look for you're going to start getting to know the group. Look for the description, find the about section of that group. Is this a group where my people are hanging out? Are the people in here folks that I feel like I can serve well? And so the way to kind of do that is just start looking through the post, looking through the questions that are answered. Can you even answer some of the questions? This is where you'll gain some confidence, because you'll see like, wow, all these people are asking this question. That's super basic for me. That's another thing that you might get stuck at, is because you feel like, I'm not an expert. Everybody knows this stuff. Well, no, they don't. And you'll gain some confidence by answering some questions. You'll notice like, yeah, I do know this. And yes, there are people out there that want to know this information. And yes, now eventually you may not know it yet, but they will pay you for that information. And that's a thing I get a lot of times. I hear an objection. People say, you know what? If why in the world would somebody pay me for knowledge that they could go on YouTube and find for free? Great question. Well, number one is, if I want to learn how to fly fish and I go into YouTube and start typing that in, I'm going to be just overwhelmed with all the information, all the gurus, all the people I could follow, all the tactics, all the strategies. This especially applies in the online space with e-commerce. If you tell me that you want to learn how to sell on Amazon and you're going to go to YouTube and learn how to do it for free, you're going to find some stuff. You're going to find lots of information. Some of it from me, some of it from, so many other people out there that have done Amazon successfully. They know how to do it, know how to teach it, and they have information out there. But you will just be overwhelmed with all of it. The downside of that is, as a new person, if you are a newbie, you don't know what's up-to-date, accurate information about this. So Amazon changes all the time. There's always new things coming out, new rules, things you can't do, things you can do. And as a new person, if you are following 50 different people, you're going to get overwhelmed. So it's time consuming to do all of this research. I would much rather find somebody I identify with, identify with this guy, like my friend Jim Cockrum. I found him back in 2002, 2003. And I'm like, okay, this is my people. This is my family. I'm staying right here. And man, am I glad I did. There are other Amazon groups out there and other really good people that are teaching the same stuff that I teach. But I've been able to carve out a niche in this area here because I've been able to become a person that is known, liked, and trusted. And I have our community, especially when I include the larger Jim Cockrum community, the My Silent Team community, we are a trusted place to find information about how to build an online business. And so that is valuable to know that I can just come to one place, I can pay money, and I'm going to get accurate, up-to-date information for something. Could you go and find information for free? Yes, you could, but you're going to spend hours researching it, figuring it all out. Where you go through a course or take a coaching program, it's going to shortcut and fast track your results. So there are going to be people that, yes, they're going to find it for free. They're going to spend the hours and hours and hours, but it's worth so much to shortcut the process, learn how you've overcome your struggles. I mean, think about weight loss, for example. Could I go online and learn how to do it for free? I could, but man, you know that people who join Weight Watchers or go through an online program or hire a fitness coach, they're going to get their results faster. It's going to last longer. And it's just more likely going to work for them because they have that accountability. So do not discount your information. And just because 500 other books are out there about your topic, those books are not from your perspective. And the other cool thing about this is, yes, there are hundreds of other Amazon courses out there, but not from my perspective. And sometimes somebody just needs to hear it over and over and over again. Or maybe you have a way of saying it that gets that person to understand it. Maybe you have a way of teaching it that really helps certain people. Maybe you just come across a different way that allows a certain segment of the population to understand it. Some folks are just going to identify with you. So if you're a woman and you're out there talking about a certain subject, you're automatically going to attract people that maybe I as a guy won't. And so that's your advantage. And so do not discount your information. Don't discount your experience. It is super valuable, and you only need a handful of people. You really only need like 100 really strong super fans to build a very nice business. And so your information is valuable. Do not compare yourself to other people, even if you're in a very crowded space. And that's the other thing is as you start working with folks, as you start learning where people's needs are, you may start high level of I help people fish to maybe now you focus, okay, there's a big need with fly fishing. And maybe you even niche down further. Fly fishing in northern Montana is your thing. But those are things that come about as you learn from your audience, as you're engaging with your ideal customer. They'll tell you what the needs are, and you'll be able to carve out your little special niche. I'm telling you, the riches are in the niches. So the more deep you can focus, the more narrow you can get, the better that's going to be for you. I'd much rather be, it's kind of the ocean thing you've heard before, the red ocean, the blue ocean, I think. I'd rather be the big fish essentially in the small pond rather than a small fish in a big pond, because there's so much competition out there. So if I can be known as, the streams of income guy, where I help people create money online, that's way more niche-y than just, how to make money. So focus on your audience. They will tell you what they need. So as you are in these groups, you are serving, you are engaging, you're going to lurk and learn in there. You're going to learn the atmosphere of the group. What you're trying to find out does this group have my ideal audience in it? Can I serve these people well? Are the questions that are asked in this group questions that I can answer? Do I even enjoy being around this topic, around these people? This is going to help you define your ideal audience. As you get deeper into this, it'll help you narrow things down a bit. So since this episode has kind of been already gone on kind of long, and I don't want to have a marathon episode in episode 2, I want to wrap this up here. So I'm going to give you some homework. If you're following along here and you want to kind of step into making an income from something that you're passionate about, something that you're interested in, some experience you've had, some skill you have, knowledge that you have, do this. Find 3 to 5 groups to get involved in. Maybe you're already involved in these groups. Maybe you already are a part of these groups, but get involved in there, go into those groups and start what we call lurking and learning. Just observe, see what the atmosphere of the group is. Are these my people? Look at the questions that are being answered. Look at the conversations that are in there. Can I add value here is what you're asking yourself. And go ahead and start engaging with people. Engage with at least 5 people in these groups. And the simplest way to do this is answer questions. So look in the posts, look in the comments. One neat trick you can do is do a search. So if you're in a group of 35,000 people and there are 100 posts a day, I don't expect you to go through all 100 posts and look for opportunities to serve. You've got other things to do and other businesses to build and other things to do in your life. But do a search for the keywords that you think, what questions are my ideal audience asking? So if you're in just a general fishing group and you want to focus on fly fishing, maybe you type in fly fishing, look and see if there's any posts recently that you can go in and add value to. You can answer their questions. And what this is going to do, and this is what's really cool, is people will look at your answers and like, wow, this person knows what they're talking about. And they're in turn either going to stalk you, they're going to look up your Facebook profile, and I'll talk to you in the next episode of what you need to have on that to start building that engagement with them, to start getting them into your funnel. They might even reach out to you on private message and ask you for more information. That's an opportunity for you to share more, to send them your lead magnet, a book, maybe a blog, whatever information that you have, and you may not have that yet, that's okay. But just have conversations. So your homework, if you're following along here and want to get involved in this, is to find 3 to 5 groups to interact in, groups that have at least 1,000 members and at least 5 to 10 posts in a day, and start learning the community. Get involved there, look for questions you can answer and start answering those questions, and engage with at least 5 people. So answer at least 5 questions. You can post if you want, but I found it's much, much, much easier just to answer questions that have already been asked, and start looking for trends, looking for things like, what questions are you drawn to? And I'll put this slide up here and also in the show notes. But what are the pain points of the people in these groups? What have they overcome? Where do they find joy? Where do they get stuck? That's a really good one, because if you find a place where they get stuck, that's something you can help them with. And what questions do you tend to answer? So look for the trends in these groups. Look for the pain points of these people. And then you're going to try to be figuring out, okay, this is the problem. This is the need that they have. Can I come in and add value to that with a book, a course, membership site, whatever it is? This is how you'll help narrow it down. And if you get into one of these groups or several of these groups and you're like, this doesn't seem like, yes, I know about this stuff, but I'm not really too excited about this. The questions that they have aren't ones that I feel like, excite me to answer, then go to a different niche if you have one. But just realize it doesn't have to totally be the thing that excites you. If what is exciting is serving people. When people send you an email saying, thank you for that information, that changed my life, or that, helped me become a better fisherman, that's going to excite you too. So just realize serving people is fun. It's fun to be able to help people out and help them grow their business or progress in whatever it is you want them to progress. So that's it for now. Hopefully that has been helpful. Really enjoy sharing this information because it's been a game changer for me. The ability to be able to take what I know about internet marketing and help people expand their businesses, grow their businesses, or even start their businesses. That's been super fun. And I want that for you. And I know that the Lord has given you something that you can be a blessing to. And I want to equip you with the tools and the resources to make that happen, to get that message out there, and realize that it doesn't have to be that hard. The strategies I want to talk about in the next episode are things that you can get started with very, very easily, very simple, to start down this road and be a blessing to folks and to fulfill that call that you have on your life. God bless you. Love you. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. From right here in the Dallas Metroplex, Ryan teaches several entrepreneurial courses and group coaching programs to students all over the world. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger.